This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. All right, why did I do this in the other order? Okay, so I wanted to, there's a bunch of little things to cover today. Start off on the charter that we worked on last week. I will walk through the organization I have in mind, but I haven't had a chance to complete it. I aim to complete it this afternoon and circulate a draft along with the minutes. Let's see. First off, logistics. I was thinking of canceling the meeting on the 5th of July. I'm assuming a bunch of people will be out of the office anyway. I'm guessing quite a few companies have long weekends. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would do it, Bobby. Just cancel it.
Okay. Then I am going to be out of town on the 28th of June. I will probably reach out to someone to run the meeting. If you'd like to volunteer, drop me a note.
Hey, Bobby, it's
Okay.
Sam. I've joined.
Hey, Sam. Ha. Can you believe Sam volunteered right on time?
Volunteered?
Well, I did say if you want to volunteer, reach out, and you said, "Hey, this is Sam."
Yes, very timely.
Hello, hello, Bobby. This is Bill Chen.
Hey, Bill. Oh, Bill, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Well, good. I have I had an interruption trying to join you for a period because I had some health issues, but I'm back. So I'm
That's
glad
very
to
good to
join.
hear.
Thank you.
Then
Good
I'm
morning,
going
Bill.
to.
It's Bill.
And Jeet is here. Okay. So I got the. Hey, Sam. Actually, jokes aside, would you mind running the meeting next week? I'll be out of town. I lost Sam. Okay, I'll ask him offline. Sam?
I'm here. I'm double checking my calendar, making sure
Okay.
that's a feasible thing to agree to. Let's see.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. But anyway, if you can, let me know, please. Hey, Brian, do you want to cover the Amsterdam session now that it's all firmed up?
You talking to me?
Yeah, you're the only Brian on right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so hopefully the people, I sent an email yesterday to everyone that's a presenter
Wait,
on that.
let me find that. I'll share my screen.
All right.
Do you have it online?
One sec.
Oh, I got it.
You got it?
No, actually, no, I've got the deadlines. I don't have the actual session itself.
You mean the spreadsheet that we have?
Yeah, that's what.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me share this.
Yeah, make you presenter.
Okay. Let me close this part out. So I sent off an email yesterday, letting everyone know in terms of some of the deadlines that are coming up. One of the deadlines is July 3rd, right before the holiday, for the draft presentations. Now, like I said in the email, it doesn't have to be a very comprehensive draft, just to show that it just needs to show that work is in progress, and that at least there is a little bit of a layout and some thinking behind what is going to be presented. The final one isn't going to be due until I think August 20th, so there will still be plenty of time afterwards to really nail down the slides. But please use that PowerPoint deck that I provided. That's the show's official template that needs to be used. So hopefully folks can put this together relatively quickly. I know it's less than 2 weeks, but that does need to get provided to both Callie and who was the other person? I want to say Kendra. No, Kelly. Sorry, Callie and Kelly. That's also CC'd in that email that I sent. They need to get those presentations from everyone. Everything I think is in order. There were some changes that OCP did in terms of the time frame. I think they only gave us 3 hours instead of 3.5 hours, which kind of cuts down the amount of time that we were expecting just to do breaks. We were expecting to do 2 15-minute breaks, but I think with those cut off, we're still going to be fine on time. And it'll really only be 3 hours, so it may not be necessary to have really a bathroom break in between. If not, maybe there'll be like a 5 to 10 minute part where people can do that, or as we're changing speakers, people can quickly go in and out. That's just unfortunately some of the time frames we're under with those folks. Does anyone have any questions? I mean, everything we've talked about in the past couple of weeks on this mini workshop has been completely accepted. There really aren't any changes here.
The main thing there is, I think we've learned is by checking our forehead multiple times.
All right, so I assume we're good.
Manish has joined too.
Hey, Manish, how are you? So the two big things or three big things. One is you know, at the Intel workshop we had at Intel, all the feedback I got on site and off site was that the panels were a big hit. The audience really liked the panels. We definitely have I'm trying to put together, I need to put together one panel, which is actually be a keynote, a cross, a cross OCP panel. Let me just share my screen. So one panel is a cross OCP open silicon design panel. So if you have any suggestions for speakers, let me know. It's not just chiplets, but basically open silicon design. But I think given our interest, we'll sort of center it around chiplets. I'm off recruiting. I need to sort of start begin to recruit speakers. Somebody will have to take a hit for the team and go to Amsterdam. I'm recruiting speakers right now. Sam, the other thought I had was maybe your workflow stuff again. I think it's an option. I hadn't. I want to run that by you as well. Was whether to look at your session as a potential panel as well, even within the 3 hour block.
It's possible. I think it depends on who's there. I think we clearly have some interesting discussions about. I wouldn't look so much at workflow, but I would look at the economics of the reason why, and then the business, the business changes we've discussed. Kind of what needs to change business-wise to support it.
Yeah. So if you and I can go off and recruit some speakers with some interesting thoughts, then we can give that a little bit more time in the session.
Yeah.
And everything I saw, that both the panels were pretty well received.
Yeah, I thought they were quite good.
So if you and I can sync offline today or Monday about this, and then take a solid shot at recruiting people.
All right, that's fine. So you're not you need me to cover next Friday, but you'll be available earlier in the week to talk?
Well, I'll be available all the week, all the way through Thursday.
Okay. All right.
You can do it on next.
I can do it. Yeah, I check my calendar. I can do it.
Awesome. Thank you. So if you have any ideas for interesting speakers for the keynote panel, please let me know. I want to collect a pool of speakers and then sort of reach out and put a theme onto the panel by probably about 2 to 3 weeks from now. We've got a few weeks to recruit them, but I have to knock them into place soon. And Sam, you and I can sync up next week about the business economics panel within the session.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just plan to
Okay.
talk like two.
Then the other thing to think about is this is a great venue for keynote announcements. It's a big regional summit. So Dave Caylett, who's not here, I think. Is Dave Caylett here? Nope. But the idea is that maybe we can work backwards. So we have a 15-minute slot in Bill Carter's OCP. So we have an opportunity to fill a 15-minute slot. So if there are any announcements of companies providing support or new releases for of a spec, that OCP keynote speech is sort of a great venue for it. So if we can, doesn't anybody have any thoughts on things we could aim for based on where we are? Right now, the candidates are a bunch of wire spec, logical interface. Now, the question is, can we say anything about the prototype at that point? This is September 26th, 27th. Quinn, Jawad, any ideas?
So, Bapi, I haven't talked to you on the mail that we exchanged. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get, the Hamad and others, roped in for this September, event. Maybe
Yeah.
next week I'll let you know.
Okay.
What would be our position?
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam, given that this is the Netherlands and all,
Mm-hmm.
do you think you guys would be interested in saying something?
Yeah, it's possible I could get someone, a CTO or something, to speak there.
But typically these
That would be
involve
how big? How big would it be? How long would the slot be?
Well, it depends, right? We've got a 15-minute slot where we sort of give. The idea is to sort of make a big giant announcement, like here's this wonderful thing we're doing to support the ODSA or OCP. And the wonderfuler it is, the longer the slot gets, basically.
Right.
But Bobby, you're not looking for speakers. You're looking for announcements, right? Sam, I think you might be mixing it up.
Announcements. Yeah, I don't know that we would.
Well, no, just so Elko, you're right. We're not looking for like a talk. But what happens in these OCP things is that, at least in the last one that I saw, I'm not like a super experienced thing. An exec comes out and gives a 5-minute pitch saying, gets on the stage and says, hey, we're really happy to support this. Bill sort of brings execs onto the stage for a few minutes for each announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bapi, I was wondering how much, in the OCP community, maybe this is an opportunity more for promotion of ODSA rather than giving a lot of details on some spec, or maybe that would be a good place to kind of present the charter in a public forum and say, this is what we're about and this is how we're describing it, priorities and or if the ODSA charter has kind of a holy grail, this is what we're trying to get to, present that as a big picture type of thing.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. So, and these won't be details; it'll simply be announcements and impact. And I think it makes sense to announce impact the ODSA charter. That's a nice idea.
So, Bapi, this is DJ. So, adding to that, so I'm thinking that you're going to have some kind of a press release of a sort, I guess, from OCP ODSA, which could be on the OCP website, right? Where it will say that ODSA is going to have, a half-day workshop at regional summit, so people become aware of it, charter. And I think we should probably also describe a little bit of how ODSA has grown so rapidly in last 6 months. Just throw in some numbers. It's a fast-growing movement in the industry. It started with 7 companies, and it has grown through the year from 30 companies in January to 68 companies. So that way, a reader has some appreciation that, okay, this is something exciting happening. Let me go check it out.
Got it. Does these 3 items capture that idea? Oh, am I sharing my screen?
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
okay.
we're seeing it.
Hey, Poppy, one other idea, and with Bill on the line, I mean, I don't want to put words in Bill's mouth, but, is there some work that ODSA and HIR can do together? And, if that can be discussed and maybe vetted out a bit by that time, then maybe there could be some announcement about collaboration there.
Yeah, I think we will be very happy to do that. We have a number of venues, programs that are planned for both East Coast and West Coast, and also in Asia. So we can find an opportunity where we can, when we can have this ODSA presence to be described, and the first opportunity actually is at SAMACON West, but sometimes right now it's a little bit full. But I can find opportunity if there's if you are interested, and we can do the exploration. I think we can very much welcome to do that. We have already put the basic idea in our roadmap that is going to be published very soon.
Yeah, and Bill, this is Elko. I'll give you a call later, but I think what Boppy's looking at here is there's a workshop in Amsterdam in September with the ODSA.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Could that be an occasion to discuss some type or announce some type of collaboration? But obviously that discussion would need to take place prior to that. So.
Yes, I think that's a very, very good opportunity. And for us, in terms of HR, I think we have described, we had a conference call with Bobby. I think both of us are, how do you cut it? We are an organization that are serving the industry, and we see that our goals are very much complementary.
Yes.
So, Elko, actually is a question I wanted to hold that thought. Bill, I love the idea of if we are able to present at an IEEE HFR event. I would love to.
HIR.
If I can make it. HIR. I'm sorry. I don't know why I can't. HIR. I said HIR up there and said HFR down here. So I'll come back to that topic in a couple of minutes. And Elko is right. This is also about keynote and announcements at the. We have the OCP has a very big regional summit coming up in Amsterdam, and
yes.
the ODSA has a session. But on top of the session, yes. We're looking at one keynote panel, and then we're looking at doing a little panel inside the ODSA session on the business and economics. Yes. And finally, this discussion is about keynote announcements. I think we have a pretty interesting mix of options here. Okay.
Yes. Yes, I think that's certainly a great opportunity, and I think if there's a way we can discuss and see potential possibility in which we can talk about the collaboration and talk about how we can help each other.
Perfect. Okay. Any other keynote thoughts from anyone? Sam, so if you want to cogitate on this, on the NXP idea, I don't know what it is, but if there's something, Animesh will look at the Intel idea. Elko, will you still be engaged with us, or you, Bill, and I can look at what what a potential announcement or will be?
Yeah, my role's changed a little bit, but as I mentioned in the email, I'll continue to try and participate because I do have a lot of interest in this, and can help align the resources on our side. So, look for me to continue.
Okay. So just, in general, for these, we'll have to sort of work our way backwards from from that date and say what do we want to happen then. Link layer, this will be Dave Caylett. I will chase him down. This will be anyway. Hey, so the prototype discussion, I'll come back to this then. Quinn Jawad, do you want to speak to this? Is there any meaningful milestone we can sort of aim for by the summit? This is September.
I was thinking on that. I mean, we'll definitely have an update, but I'm trying to figure out which milestone would be appropriate, and maybe that's something we can talk about at our next meeting this coming next week to try to identify what would be the appropriate milestone.
Yeah. So if we had like a pitchlet design or a package prototype or something, this is the end of September basically, that somebody would have to take, Bill would have to take something out on stage. That's the idea for this. We don't have to resolve it now, but that's what I'm saying basically.
Yes. No, I agree. I think we should look at our schedule in detail and say, what milestone can we try to make sure we align with the event?
Okay. DJ, does this look like a reasonable mix of options? Hopefully a few of these will pan out by then.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should have more options, and then it kind of settles down into what we decide. So I think these look quite reasonable.
Okay. Perfect. And then this captures the list of 3 items you had in mind for the press release, right?
Yeah, exactly. So,
okay.
Yeah, and I think, so Bapi, you're thinking of press release from OCP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think, obviously, we can throw in one chart, some nice eye candy chart, either of growth or something, which, always attracts more eyeballs when people are reading the press release.
Okay.
So one other thing I would suggest is in the press release, we can also include information on that there is a half-day workshop, where it is and when it is, so that people kind of have that information. Somewhat similar to how usually companies announce before CES or any of those shows, where they'll say, we are announcing this product, please come and see us at this booth so-and-so, in hall so-and-so. So somewhat similar way, I think you can include some information about activities of ODSA at Regional Summit in the press release, so readers can get informed on that.
Yep. Okay. And Brian, this makes sense to you as well, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Perfect. DJ, that was thank you. That's a nice idea. Because I was definitely not thinking about that. Okay. So this is Sam. And on the first panel, the keynote panel, if you have any interest, I think the thing that made the panels work was that we had people with actual template experience or actual workflow experience. So please send me any ideas. Really appreciate it.
It was just easier getting those people there in San Jose or Santa Clara than it will be in Amsterdam. I think that's a challenge that we'll face here.
Yeah, I agree. But then it is Amsterdam in the fall, so there's something to be said for that.
But do you have the information of that event so that you can send to us, please?
Sure, I can do that. It's a OCP Regional Summit. Let me just regional. Oh, here you go. It's this big thing, the OCP Regional Summit, 26th and 27th in Amsterdam. That's it.
It's a Thursday, Friday, actually.
I'll just add the link in the chat window.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not on WebEx, so I can't really see it.
Ah, okay. Then I'll just add it to the minutes.
Yeah. I'm just on the phone.
Bill, I'll forward it to you.
It's easy to find. So it looks like
Okay.
there's a kind of a full day Thursday, and then the Friday morning we have a sub session for the morning. That's it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have a 3-hour
Okay.
session.
So
But we have one cross summit panel,
mhm.
and we have the 15 minutes in Bill's talk. Those are separate from the 3-hour session.
Right.
And
They're
the intent is
Thursday.
yeah. And then the intent is to rejig our session a bit if we can round up a panel within our session as well.
Okay. Yeah.
That was actually DJ's deal, panels. And then I pulled it in for the workshop too. So nice one, DJ. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
This is at the RAI. Okay. I've been here before. I know this place.
Okay. Then the second thing, the third topic I wanted to cover is what topics do we want to review at our Friday meetings. One topic which I thought Animesh would be worth it is, you guys had a really brief session at the workshop. Whether you and Robbie wanted to come back and do like a 30-minute talk or a 35-minute talk on the platform.
Yeah, that's the plan, and take it a little bit, a bigger way.
Yeah.
Topic. Yeah.
So maybe
What
take
is
the
that?
same.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, this is the virtual compute platform that Animesh discussed at the Intel workshop. You remember after Ramune spoke, Animesh and Robbie had a 10-minute session.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And Bill, I had you penciled in. You and I had a chat, but I feel like the larger group could definitely benefit from a discussion on the HIR.
Yes.
So, whatever date works for you, either next week, the 28th, or the 12th of July, whichever works better for you.
I think the 28 will be good, and we could present similar materials and update it, and give us something like 15-20 minutes.
Okay. Sam, that work for you,
right? We can do it on the WebEx.
We use yes, on not WebEx. The OCP we use GoToMeeting.
GoToMeeting.
Yeah. Yes, and actually the reason why I'm on the phone is that I tried to do the GoToMeeting and somehow it rejected me. So yes.
Okay.
Well, we'll work it out.
Work it out before next week. So you want to do 20 minutes on next week's call on that topic?
Yes, if that's just good.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Whatever you decide, we will do it.
Sam, I'll pencil in 30 minutes from now, and then you can cut it down to 20 if your agenda becomes crowded.
If we need to get too crowded, yeah.
So next Friday?
Yep.
Right.
At 8 a.m. Pacific.
Okay.
Now, did you want to discuss? You said there was a semi-west opportunity for the ODSA to present at your HIR events.
Actually, no. We have a program next. We have a program at Semicon West, and we also have a HIR workshop on the Monday of Semicon West.
Okay.
So I will see whether we can have a time in which we can invite you or invite yourself or other people to come and give us a presentation at our work session.
Sounds good. Okay.
And I will send you the information that we have and see whether the timing works out for everybody.
Sounds good. So 30 minutes next week, and this is a separate semicon. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Animesh, did you know when you wanted to do your options are 28th or the 12th? Or should we just push it to the 12th?
12 is not good because I'm flying
Oh, no,
back
I'm
from
sorry.
America West.
I was speaking to Animesh. I apologize. Not. Sorry, Bill. I was speaking to.
So let me get back to you on that one, Bapi.
Okay.
Whether it is.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just discuss whatever is a good time for you, and whether it works out. We'll be very glad to do a presentation on HR.
Oh no, we've definitely got the HIR on next 28th at 8 a.m. Bill, you're on.
Okay. Okay. So next week, 11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Okay.
Eastern, exactly.
Yep. Yep.
So anybody want any other topics you can think of? I'm happy to chase people down, or if you have anybody in mind, any other anything we heard at the workshop, or anything we haven't covered. Was there any topic, anything on the agenda at the workshop that we should cover in more detail?
You're talking about HR, or you're talking about? I'm sorry, you're asking me.
Oh no, Bill. I'm talking to the audience in general.
Workshop? The last
sure.
workshop?
Okay.
Or
Sorry.
I'm just not sure what your question is. You're wondering if from last week's workshop, if there anything else we wanted to cover on this call?
No. Sorry. Let me try to take a shot at asking the question again. Are there any topics that we'd like to have a deep dive on our Friday calls and 30-minute presentations? Either things that were covered briefly in a previous workshop or completely new topics. There's an analog guy I heard yesterday. The Berkeley analog generator. I think that's worth a listen. I'll chase those guys down. That's kind of an interesting parameterized way to design process portable analog circuits. That's kind of interesting. I think I can chase that guy down.
But actually, I'd prefer we work towards trying to narrow down the approaches we want to take towards standardizing things. I mean, it's interesting, but I'd rather look at.
You'd rather not do this?
Well, I'd rather be looking at a bunch of wires versus SerDes versus what are the pluses and minuses. What does the group want to think that it merits the most focus and effort in terms of trying to because we're trying to get to decision points on development, trying to understand, okay, are we going to have something from ODSA that we can hang our hat on or not? So
okay. So there's reasonable progress. How do you think we can do that? Do you want so there's a bunch of us proposal coming up and it's in flight.
Well, one question is how are we going to make decisions? I guess, I mean, is there a rough consensus approach? How will we be making decisions for? I mean, at the one end of this is right. You collaborate on a document and people actually sign vote on approving the document. You go through a process of edits to the document or approvals and stuff like that. And I don't know if we really want to use. I don't know if we need to have that much rigor, but we should at least have some consensus mechanisms for what are the priorities that we're going to focus on.
Right. So maybe I pull up that slide. These are the things we're working on right now, right?
Right.
I don't. This is the thing. So right now we're sort of working on this model of wherever people are willing to put their labor. That's for lack of a better better way of saying it. Is this? Can you see this, or is this still
Yes.
too?
Yeah, now I can see that.
Roughly, this is what we have in flight. Whoops, sorry.
Right.
The heck did I just do?
You just made it bigger.
There.
Right.
So this is what we have in flight. So the way this is working is, so the model we've had so far is whenever there's something significant to report, people report out on the Friday meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise, each of these sort of has like its own separate cadence. So the prototype has a cadence, the phi analysis has a cadence, and the Bow interface has a cadence of its own.
Yeah, nine different efforts.
Well, there are only 4. These are on the wish list right now. Everything here.
That's right. I guess you got 4 or 5, but
there's about 4 in flight. The chiplet, and there's really 3 in flight: the phi analysis, the Bow interface, and the prototype. There's
well,
2
I
which
guess
are sort
what
of.
I would suggest is that, as you know, especially phi analysis and Bow interface, as we get to these proposals,
Right.
we need to be thinking about the process by which we close on agreement on what becomes the standard as a specification.
How do you think we should do? Should we just burn an hour on figuring out the process? How do we go about it?
We make a new subgroup.
How about we do? Okay, I have an idea. How about on the 12th? I'll give everybody adequate notice. 12th of July. We make Sam's have brought this up a couple of times, and I think it's reasonable. So how about on the 12th of July? We'll send out a notice. Everybody, you've got the holiday and everything. Come back with some thoughts on how do we make decisions as a group.
Okay.
And if Quinn doesn't come with an opinion, we'll let's all beat up on him first.
Right. I mean, frankly, a lot of the OCP standards are mechanical standards, right? They're essentially collaborating on a rack or a power supply functionalities. There's a lot of that stuff, and those are just kind of collaborative. Let's just write it all down and make sure we agree. And I think we can kind of play in that way, but I think we do also, there's a bit more of a trying to establish a standard, and you need some process or mechanisms by which we achieve that. And then sometimes then what we'll run into is on occasion you get the need for IEEE, some kind of a standard, established standards body to publish a standard associated with it, and people just need that because that's how Ethernet's done and other things, because there are requirements to use standards. And so how do you accomplish, how do you achieve the approval process of a standard with the approach we're taking? And then another question is, do you really need to do that? But clearly things like JEDEC and other things, right? That's why they exist, right? Because you've got kind of a third party that is served to establish it as the standard, and it's not just 2 guys saying, okay, between us we're establishing this as a standard.
I agree. It's an important issue. So Mike, I have a question. Brian from Can-Do has a lot of thoughts. I think if I can chase him down. Brian, I think we need to have a structured discussion on this. So I'm hoping at least 3 people can do some draft slides by 10th to have a couple of thoughts on this. Can anybody volunteer? Or I'm going to reach out with specific names. Sam, do you think you can do a couple of slides by the 10th on saying these are the options?
Yeah, it'll just be a couple of slides, just words on slides, but I can do that.
I know, because I think we all sort of come in fresh. It's going to be an unstructured discussion if we have like a couple of slides.
Yeah. I have just been through my career. I've had to go through this and have been instructed by some people who are wiser than me about what what has to be in place and what you need to do. So I can definitely try to share what I've learned in that spot and help out there.
Yeah. I know this has been a big concern of yours, and I think we have enough to sort of hit it now in my mind.
Okay.
Quinn or Jawad, do you guys have any thoughts? Can you do a couple of slides? Do you want to?
Sure.
I think Sam's question is
Sandy.
basically how are we going to make decisions, and whoever can put some structured thought into it before the meeting, that would be very useful.
Right. So just wanted to add one thing. I mean, there is a super formal process that IEEE and other bodies follow. Then there is this whole RFE process that software guys are more used to, where you just publish a RFC, request for comment, and that kind of becomes the standard. So maybe the approach here, since we are coming more from architecture and high level point of view, maybe something like that can also be considered.
Yeah. So I think the absolutely the intent is for us to sort of, I don't think it's going to be resolved in one discussion unless I'm completely wrong, Sam. But the intent is for us to begin a
discussion. But we need to tee it up.
Yeah. And DJ, maybe from the OCP point of view, can you make time on the 12th and make sure and come up with a couple of slides for us?
Sure. This is 12th of July.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bapi, let's do this. Let's you and I have a separate conversation maybe later today. And I'm happy to do that. But I would like to do that working closely with you to make sure we cover what makes sense.
Yeah. So I think maybe we're sort of on a consensus-based approach to making consensus-based standards. So
and then I'm very interested, not just from the roadmap point of view, but also from the IEEE Electronic Packaging Society perspective in contributing to the standards.
Okay, perfect. Then I think if everybody sort of gets their thoughts, and in anybody else want to chime in, that you have some thoughts on how we should go build the standards, etc. If you have any thoughts at all, please step up, and we'd love to consider them. Okay, so just so we're clear, I think the idea is that all of us will bring our thoughts to the table, and out of that, we should be able to fashion some sense of how we want to put out content as a group. And Sam and Jawad, and we also need to bear in mind that OCP has some structures in place, like development agreements, etc., that we probably have to align with as well.
Right.
Okay, perfect.
So, hey, Bapi, I'll have to drop at this point. Is there anything I need to be aware of, or shall we catch up later? Is it okay if I drop now?
Absolutely. We can catch up in the afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Bapi.
Thanks, DJ. Okay. Any other? So charter I covered. I will send out an update. Any opens that before we go to the prototype, I wanted to we've had a lot of discussion on the prototype. Any opens from anyone? Elko Ali.
No, nothing here.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Animesh Jitu.
I'm fine. I don't have any opens right now. But
No, this is my first meeting, so I'm just figuring out the lay of the land here.
Okay. I'm guessing one of the 4 callers is Bill, but I don't know who the other 3 callers are. Is that Manish and Kevin? Yeah, but Kevin, you're on the. I can see your name.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
disconnected and everything.
Nick, Ali Reza, any opens?
Sorry,
So
I was
no,
on mute.
this is Bill.
Yeah.
I know that I'm supposed to call in next week, 28th.
Yep.
Copy Manish here. I'm one of on the phone. Sorry, I was
Okay.
on mute.
Okay, so Jawad, Quinn, so we've had a lot of discussions on the, I think Quinn's just dropped off. Okay. We've had a lot of discussions on the prototype.
I'm still here.
I don't see you. Okay. All right. Do you guys want to discuss that right now, or you think we need to sort of clean it up some more before discussing it with the larger group?
We've gotten a lot of input, but I do think before we go open up again, I think we need a few days to consolidate that into a crisp presentation.
So do you want to do this next week, 6/28?
Yes, I think put us on the agenda for next week, and that'll give us a deadline to get everything, all our input, put together.
Okay. Because I think Bill will do the first half, and then you guys can do 8:30 to 9.
Okay.
And that should
I
also
mean,
meet.
we could put out there. I just think in the rough form, I'm not sure in 10 minutes in the rough form it's actually that useful of everyone's time.
No, that's fine. I think I like the idea of polishing it up and doing a clean discussion next week. And this meets Sam's goal of no science project-y stuff, so I'm happy. Okay, in that case, Sam, next week then you've got the 2 topics. One is Bill and the second is a prototype.
Okay, sounds good.
We made pretty decent progress on the prototype, so it might be a good time to sort of revisit it.
Okay. So
I think we're done. If nobody has any opens, thank you for your time. And I will see you all in about 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
Hey, Bapi, I have a question.
3 weeks.
Do we have the presentation material for the Intel meeting somewhere?
Yeah, it's all on the wiki here. Michael will probably, so you can see all the stuff here at Intel, then that Samsung, and the one before that at where is that? Netron Global at Global.
Oh, perfect. Thanks.
And you can see our weekly meetings and recordings here as well. And I realize I've been lax in publishing minutes. Okay. Sam, anything else I need to cover before next week?
no, I think we're good. You've given me an easy task next week to run the meeting with two presentations, and then hopefully after that everybody will have some time off for the 4th, and then we'll be back at it on the 12th.
All right. Well, thank you all then.
So Sam,
enjoy the rest.
Sam,
Enjoy the rest of your day in the weekend. Wait, anybody has any opens?
Question?
Yeah.
This is Bill Chen. I'm just saying that if you could send Sam my email address so that since you are not going to be there next week, so Sam is chairing.
I will.
Yeah,
I just want to
I'm
make sure I
chairing,
know who. Yeah.
And Bill,
Sam and I will sync.
if both Bill and Quinn, are you going to cover the project stuff? What was it? The
POC. Update, yes.
So it's going to be Bill and Quinn. Yeah, it would be helpful to me if, a day or two before that you can get me what you intend to present, and then I'll be more familiar with it and be able to help structure the meeting.
Yeah, I would, this Bill Chen, I will also invite the couple other people to join the meeting from the HR perspective. So we have probably a couple additional person.
Okay.
These are open meetings,
thank you
Bill.
very
Virtually anyone's welcome to attend.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thanks all. Bye.
Thanks.